Yeah, what can I do for you, Rod? You just tell me, what can I do for you?
It's a very personal, very important thing. Hell, it's a family motto. Are you ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Here it is. Show me the money.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I've been on the come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown the sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy, I'm illy. I've been on the come up, counting money till my thumbs hurt. No Birdman, bitch, but I'm a stunner. Just watch how you run up. I keep a couple gunners. I've been grinding all winter just to flex all over summer shit. Wrist cold when I fall through. Rose go to my arm, boo. In and out of my city, but come whenever I call you. Who gon' love me more than when I'm stacking out on tour? Them hoes that made it past security, they knocking on my door. You gon' be there when they gone. Show my love by getting more. Hustle so you ain't alone. You won't leave me, that's for sure. I'm talking Benjis, Franklin's, all these hundos on my floor. I just broke a couple bands, believe me, I've been going hard. I'm tipping bottle after bottle, swerving model after model. Who won't cash? That's the motto. Spend it like I hit the lotto. Yeah, I'm loving my life. I know that I ain't shit without you. Actions speak louder than words. They broke cause they just talk about you, huh? I've been on the come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown the sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy, I'm illy. Money bag after money bag, I'm the man now. Play the cards that I was dealt and I ain't need no handouts. Fresh on every set, give respect, mama out of debt. Got a new connect, we the best, homie run the check. Wifey got a new bag, new house, you mad? We just doing us, feeling wavy, fuck a do-rag. This that no stress flow, bobbing on my ex. She don't love cash, kiss my ass, baby XO. Thank you for that line, Mr. West, but I'm next though. Hey, you meet a sad bitch, I'm blessed, sipping XO. For the love of money, I stay fucking hungry. I parted ways with the kitchen, that just wasn't for me. Every show they love me, now I'm showing love back. They ain't taking nothing from me, so I throw a couple stacks. You when I'm in your town, have some fun, blow a bag. Fuck with me when I'm around, trust me, shorty, I'll be back. I've been on the come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown the sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy, I'm illy.
Yay, what's good, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome to Alphabets Football Show. I'm your host, Marcus Alphabets, where we take you about a 2-hour-long journey to discuss our favorite sport in the whole wide world, which is football. Just got home, had to run in. I told y'all we were going to do a show today. I gave y'all a little bit of a break so y'all could watch that spectacle last night. But first things first, I'd like to introduce my lovely co-host. I call her Miss Bruce Willis because she's die hard. What's up, Mona? Your mic is off, Mona. Mona?
Sorry about that. I had to step away for a second.
Okay.
Hey guys, what's up? Good to see everybody. Hope we have a good show.
For sure. Not football related, Mona. Thoughts on that spectacle last night?
That was an absolute hideous embarrassment to professional boxing. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. That was so set up. I think he ended up getting like $20 million
He did.
To lose that fight. Look, that was worse scripted acting than wrestling was back in the 70s when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, to tell you, you saw all the elbows missed in wrestling back in those days. You saw how hideously fake everything was. I remember the blood capsules that Ric Flair used to wear in the hairlines that he could pop while he was in the ring, because that man always bled. Always bled.
Yeah.
Went to a couple of live events where I was actually like right next to the turnbuckle of the ring, and I'm sitting there watching Rick Steamboat and
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Jay Youngblood. They were tag team, Jay Youngblood.
Okay.
And they were tag team wrestlers, and we're sitting there, and look, I saw some of the most hideous, not real hits ever. I mean, now there are better actors in today's wrestling. Okay, there really are. They're more scripted, and I think they do a lot of practice. We all know wrestling is fake. Yes, people get mad while they're in the ring, and there may be something crazy happen. Look, Tyson may have thrown 45 punches in that whole 8 rounds. 45 punches. He didn't throw any combos. He didn't throw any of his signature punches. No, that was some bullshit. Look, that was him getting some retirement money to last him probably the rest of his life, $20 million. I think Jake Paul got like 50 million or something like that. But that was the most fake bullshit I ever seen in my life, and I'm telling you, I was embarrassed that I even watched that match.
And this just goes to show you, my dad has a saying. He goes, "People love a show. They'll come to your."
That was not a show. That was pathetic.
They will come to your. They will come to your coronation, and they will come to your beheading. People just love. They love circuses.
I love Mike Tyson. I love that man. I know he got his money taken from him from Don King. He was not treated fairly by him.
Yeah.
I know that he went to prison for a while. I do not believe that he was guilty. I think it was a complete setup because they didn't want him knowing about where his money was gone. I think that was a complete, absolute setup because look, I'm a woman, and I used to wear them fancy silk pantyhose. If you look at them wrong, they run. There's no way Mike Tyson with his big old paws ripped them off of her, and they would not one run in them pantyhose. Yeah. That was some of the evidence they used.
It was. Yeah, it was bad. I
feel sorry for the guy. I think deep down, I think he is a sweet man. Now, when he was doing his drugs and doing the coke, look, that's exactly where Don King wanted him. That's exactly where he wanted him.
Well, I think part of it is you need people in your life. I say this all the time. My dad says this to me all the time. You need people in your life that tell you no. He was the youngest heavyweight champion in history. And it got to a point when his mentor, Cus D'Amato, passed away, where he was running amok.
Yeah.
Who's going to tell him no? And as this relates to football, I think you also see this with some football players. You need people in your corner who will tell you no. If not, then you get the Pac-Man Joneses, you get the Josh Gordons, you get the Henry Ruggses. You need somebody in your corner. You got these young, and a lot of them, unfortunately, are black males that grew up with nothing, and then they get money, and money just makes you more of what you already are. If you don't have any structure in your life, and you give a 17, 18-year-old millions of dollars or a 20-year-old millions of dollars, they're gonna the Johnny Manziel's. You know, when he was in the league, just running amok, drugs and women and running around. And it's a short ride, you know, because you come in and probably most of your whole life, you know, in high school, you got to do whatever you wanted to do. In college, you got to do whatever you wanted to do. Then you get to the pros and you start making this money and you still have that mindset. And that's why a lot of these careers don't work out so good. So it was what it was. You know, I wasn't expecting much, but you know,
Look, I was hoping and praying because I watched every video on Netflix of his training regimen. I watched every one of Jake Paul's, and I think I told you, Mike Tyson's combo is so fast that he is going to beat the crap out of Jake Paul. Because Jake's combos were pretty damn slow, and they were even in the fight last night. And this, look, that constant biting of his glove was a reminder. Tyson was doing that to remind himself, look, I'm getting $20 million to lose this fight. I can't lose my temper and start pounding him. Because I'm telling you, if that was an actual fight, Tyson would have absolutely obliterated him in the second or third damn round.
Okay.
Everybody's like, oh, his knees were buckling. I'm like, no, they weren't. He was being paid to do that. Look, I sit there and I watched him training. I watched him sparring. And the sparring and stuff, they were going 2 and 3 minutes with his sparring just to fight this fight.
Yeah. It was what it was. Now I just think my main thing is you're going to start getting copycats because people, you know, I watched a fight a few months ago. It was Adrian Peterson versus Le'Veon Bell, you know, and I think you're going to start seeing more stuff like that. You know, it's just everybody's gonna try to get into the act. But anyways, we're back.
It's bad for professional boxing.
It is, and this is why a lot of the kids are moving away more towards
the
MMA and stuff like that. So, but here we are. Gave y'all a little bit of break. Y'all thought you knew we were going to be back.
See you, Dalton.
For sure. Congratulations to Dre. I saw something up on his page today. He took a picture with James Brown. Not that James Brown, the dancer. He's already passed away, but James Brown from Fox Sports. Right. Fox NFL Sunday, and he took a good picture with him. I'm gonna have to reach out to him and see what that was. But we're gonna do what we normally do here. We just did it a day late. Try to give y'all, you know, I knew everybody was pretty much. I was watching the fight last night.
I had already told you that if I would be watching the Dago match during our show, if it started during our show.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I was like,
I'm glad we didn't miss the first 3 fights because the first fight was
the ladies. The second
fight was better.
Ladies.
Man, Serrano and Taylor. Woo! And a lot of people don't agree with the outcome of that fight, and I get you. Hey, I totally get you. But when you're a right-handed boxer fighting a southpaw, you have, and look, they already knew. They even talked about it after the fight. Yeah. They already knew she leans forward with that head, and she's always done it. You train your fighter to take a step back when she does that lean and knock her damn lights out.
Evander Holyfield used to get blamed for that a lot. You know, it's tough. You know, leading with their head, but we're gonna do what we do. We're gonna, you know, if you're a football fan, get your ass up in here, like and share the show. And
I'm only seeing one person watching it right now. So
okay, well, we still got like the last couple of weeks, and I think that it's college football. And that's why we do our show on Friday night. But we'll do our show, and y'all can come back and.
Who is watching, please tag people for us.
Tag and share because I can't from here. So we had our last week, our Thursday game.
Yep.
Baltimore Ravens and Cincinnati Bengals started off a little bit slow. They were both kind of.
And we did talk about this on the show last Friday.
Yeah.
So
Um,
I just wanted to do a recap of the scores and
yeah.
reiterate the same thing I said last week, that if
Yeah.
they had called some of the non-face masks that happened there on that very last play, and the pass interference should have been called in the middle of the damn end zone.
It was two face masks on the
Two
damn
face
same
masks.
play in the same play.
Oh, no. 2 face masks and the pass interference on the same play.
Yeah, you gotta these refs. You
gotta
gotta
make these calls. Look, you cost the Bengals that game.
And the thing is, the Bengals are fighting for their life. You know, 5 and
Bengals are hoping now that Baltimore beats us.
Yeah, 5-5 looks a whole lot better than 4-6.
Yeah.
And I said this at the beginning of the season. You know, the Bengals the past few years they've kind of had the same MO. They kind of start off slow, and then towards the end of the season they go on this run. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that this year.
The biggest issue I have with Cincinnati is they still aren't. Burrow is still being sacked, and their defense is. Look, Trey Hendrickson, he is your defense. Other than that, Mike Helton, the corner, Mike Helton, is pretty good. But the rest of that defense, although against that high-powered offense the Baltimore Ravens have, they played pretty damn good.
Yeah.
They kept Henry to 63 yards.
Yeah.
So
they did.
That's impressive to me.
Yeah.
I never thought that they would keep Henry to 63 yards. I figured Henry would have at least 110, 120 yards against that defense.
But they did. But they also gave up 4 touchdowns and close to 400 yards passing. So look, they're going to have to.
Baltimore Ravens gave up 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I think that also shows how good Jamar Chase is too. Jamar Chase, look, there's a lot of people that think
I'll give you that it shows how good Jamar Chase is, but it also reveals how bad the secondary is for Baltimore.
Okay, well,
can we not agree with that?
That's true, but when you get burnt by Tyreek Hill or you get burnt by Jamar Chase,
but since he does not have much of a running game, so they're pretty much one-dimensional. And when you allow 4 touchdown passes to Jamar Chase, 2 to Jamar Chase, I think the other receiver had a touchdown. But my point is, when you allow that to happen, when they don't have a really good running game anymore since they got rid of Joe Mixon,
I like Chase Brown, but Chase Brown's not that. Chase Brown is that Austin Eckler type. He's not the kind of guy that's gonna like Joe Mixon, like a workhorse type guy. He's more of a space back type guy, and he had a few catches in that game. Yes, but they're both going to have to tighten up. The Ravens, we're in week 11. We're going into week 11, and you're starting to see. Look, if you don't fix certain things, deficiencies that you have on your team, and you take those deficiencies into the playoffs. You take those same deficiencies into the playoffs, teams will take advantage of that.
They know their secondary is weak, and that's the reason why they brought Tre'Davious White in to try and help that secondary. But we all know how many games is White going to be good for before he's hurt, because we know that he's not the same as he was before he tore his ACL.
Not at all. But overall, very entertaining game. The questionable.
Well, it was not entertaining for defensive-minded people.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair. What do we got next? So here's a rundown of the rest of the games. Look, the New York Giants are bad. I think we've seen coaches get fired already. We already saw Saleh get fired. We already saw the Saints coach get fired. I think it's safe to say that Brian Daboll, he's probably coaching his last few games. I don't know if they fire him. There's 7 games left. I don't know if they fire him before then, but I think it's pretty much written in the stars that Brian Daboll's probably going to get fired. And you're starting to see a little bit of life from the Panthers. They're starting to. Bryce Young starting to play a little bit better. We've kind of seen the emergence of Chuba Hubbard.
Well,
He,
I think that's why you're seeing Bryce Young play better. It's because his running game's gotten better. Jonathan Brooks is back now too.
yeah,
So
he'll be back.
now
Yeah,
they
he'll
got
be.
that two-headed monster. They got a two-headed monster going this
Yes.
weekend. So
Yeah.
it's not all going to be on Bryce Young, who lost his number one receiver.
Yeah,
I mean,
Deontay
let's
Johnson.
keep it a buck. Um,
And they got rid of Jonathan Mingo too. I don't know how.
the talent was the Bryce. They had to get rid. They had a fire sale just to be able to get Bryce Young.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and so it's hard to judge what Bryce Young could do in the NFL until you get him some damn weapons.
yeah. They're definitely this offseason. They're going to have to make a concerted effort to try to get some more weapons on the perimeter. They really need. I know that they went out and they got Xavier Legette. I think he was the last pick in the first round. They swapped picks with the Bills from 33 to 32, and they moved back into the first round and got Legette, and then the Bills got Keon Coleman. But in my opinion, I really think this offseason, whether through free agency or through the draft, they got a few other holes that they need to fix. But they definitely got to go get some playmakers on the perimeter. I like that, like you said, Mona, that two-headed rushing attack. And they don't have to rush back Brooks, coming off that devastating injury, but they're going to have to go
They
get
don't
them
have
up.
to pay those two guys for a while either.
Yeah. Well, they just paid Hubbard. They just paid him last week, but Brooks is a rookie, so you're not gonna have to pay him for a while. Patriots, they
I'm kicking myself in the ass because I had the Patriots to win this game, and I thought, you know what? I think maybe this is the game where Chicago can kind of turn it around. Chicago ain't going nowhere this year.
I think another team that's probably going to have another head coach. I think Matt Eberflus. I think his days are numbered. They already, coming up, we'll talk about it. They already fired one of their coordinators, and when you look at the Patriots, they have a couple of little things. You kind of see. Look, if you get the quarterback position right. And it seems like they may have done that in Drake May. Now I can start focusing on other things and putting things around him.
And guess what?
What's that?
Dark Hoodie himself is no longer there to screw up getting wide receivers out of the draft.
Yeah. They drafted. Look, I like Christian Gonzalez. I thought that they should have got Jackson Smith and Jig, but I know hindsight's 2020. But I really thought that they needed a receiver more, and that was kind of his MO. So
Dark Hoodie was still there too.
Yeah. 49ers, they get a win. Their 49ers are kind of fighting their way back. The injuries that they've had have really been devastating. They should be getting
had these injuries though. So I think that what those injuries showed was, are the 49ers going to make Brock Purdy the highest paid quarterback next year? Will they?
Yeah. I think that they will. I don't think that they have a choice because, I've done videos on this. Why would if I'm Brock Purdy, why would I take less money than Dak Prescott?
Yep.
Why would I do that?
First year, took them to the playoffs, right?
His first year, yeah, he took them to the NFC Championship, where they lost to the Eagles, and then last year they lost the Super Bowl. He two straight NFC championships and then a Super Bowl. I still think he's surrounded by a lot of talent. I think the thing that's really hurt them this year is, like I said,
their talent was injured.
You lost your number one receiver. You lost your number one running back. That hurts. That really hurt. And not just any running back. Maybe the best running back in the league.
IU sat out. And then when he came back, he was not the same.
Yeah, he got paid right up to the last minute, just like with Dak and CeeDee Lamb. And I just think, he was trying to make up for that. And I don't care how much training that you do, it's not the same as playing football. And I think that, it costs him, So 49ers win again. I think when all is said and done, once we get to the playoffs, I think the 49ers will be there. You'll probably see 49ers on the NFC side, 49ers, Packers, Lions. I think that's who you'll see there.
Eagles. You can't leave the Eagles out of that.
Eagles. Yeah, definitely Eagles. KC over the Broncos. Look, the Broncos, again, we talked about these quarterbacks. Once you find your quarterback, it makes everything else okay. Now, this is a divisional back and forth, Broncos and Chiefs.
Broncos and Chiefs always play each other.
It's always
no matter
tough.
how bad the Broncos might be or how bad the Chiefs might be. I remember when Peyton Manning was with the Broncos, every time they played the Chiefs, it was a neck and neck fight.
And they seem to have found their quarterback in Bo Nix.
I agree.
And this offseason, I would also like for them. Okay, we found our quarterback. That defense is playing hella great. They got a nice little running game over there. They drafted the kid out of Notre Dame, Audric Estime. You got Javonte Williams. I would like this offseason to see them get some weapons on the perimeter. You spent the first round pick on a guy like Jerry Jeudy. You got rid of him. You still got Cortland Sutton, and he's all right. But this offseason, they need to go get them another. They drafted the kid, Bo Nix's teammate from Oregon. I would like to see a little bit more juice on the offensive side, give the kid a little bit more support. Bills get the win. Just finding a way to win. And they're winning now more, not like they used to win. Before it was just Josh Allen slinging it around 40 times, running around with his hair on fire. And what you're seeing now with them is a little bit more structured football, more of a commitment to the run. They got a nice little two-man game in a backfield, not having to rely on Josh Allen running as much. James Cook, the rookie Ray Davis, who I really like coming out of Kentucky. They're playing decent defense. So I really like what they're doing. Mona, your Steelers, in a fight with the Commanders.
Yep.
And Russell Wilson
lost Alex Highsmith in that game.
Lost Alex Highsmith, but Russell Wilson brings a calming veteran leadership. The best quarterback that you've had since Big Ben Roethlisberger. Trying to fill in his shoes. For those couple of years that since Ben has been gone. It seems like you found a steady influence on there. I personally, I don't know how you feel about this, Mona. I would sit down with Russ and see what he would like to do, for the rest of his career.
I'll be honest with you. I think they already sat down with him and Justin Fields. I really do.
Okay.
This game coming up.
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Keon Coleman, we already know is out. He got hurt in that game against the Colts. Colts defense is for real. Yeah,
they got some players over there. Their issue is,
and Dalton Kincaid's out coming up week.
Yeah, I think the Colts issue is, are they really sold on Anthony Richardson? They keep going back and forth between him and Joe Flacco. I got to know if you can play. I just spent the top 6 pick on you.
You can't take yourself out of a game just because.
No.
Yeah. I can't help but wonder that he was sick. He started off not having a great game, and maybe he felt so sick that he thought it was going to get worse. And said, look, I've got to take myself. I got to get my team a fighting chance to win a game, and I can't do it today. I just can't.
I think part of it with it, Mona, we talked about this before the show. At Florida, he was the biggest, baddest dude.
Yep.
And that's great in college, but guess what? When you get to the NFL, you're playing against grown men. and you read a gimmicky kind of offense in Florida, one read, then I'm a big bad dude and I take off and just run over everybody and run through everybody. And that just don't happen in the NFL. So they're going to have to.
Defensive guys who have been in the league for a while playing against you, who is maybe playing for another raise.
Yeah,
the following
that's
season.
right.
What I can do this year.
Yeah, definitely. Vikings finally stopped. They started off so hot. They started off 5-0. I lost the damn hoodie on that.
I don't care. That 12-7 win over Jacksonville, who was playing like crap.
Yeah, and a lot of people thought that they were for real. I think we're kind of starting to see maybe the Vikings.
Vikings got some missing pieces. They got to do something about that offensive line. Their O-line play is pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, they lost the kid, maybe one of the best tackles in the game, in Christian Darrisaw. They replaced him with an offensive lineman from the Jags, Cam Robinson. I think that's who but they lost Darrisaw. I just think that they started off kind of hot out the gate, and teams are kind of starting to see. I think the cream of the crop in the North, and maybe in the entire NFC, is the Lions. The Lions are just, to me, one of the more complete teams. Falcons and Saints. This shocked me. I think we all picked.
And Kirk Cousins doing Kirk Cousins mistakes.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins kind of this particular game, he kind of took a step back. I was like, "Come on, Kirk." I mean, he looked like Washington Redskins,
but
not even Washington.
They drafted a quarterback.
Yeah.
I really expected to see him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. See, the thing with that is, once you go to Penix, there's really no going back to Kirk Cousins.
And you pay Kirk Cousins a lot of money right now.
Yeah, exactly. And it just now you have every week you have the quarterback controversy. It just makes things bad. Kind of like unlike you all, where Tomlin just said Russ is going to be our guy going forward. That's it. I'm making it, and I don't care if y'all like it or not. You go and you spend a top 8 pick to get Michael Penix, and then you had just paid Kirk Cousins like 4 years, $160 million. It just, I don't know. I don't know your way out of that. Eagles beat down my Cowboys. The Cowboys aren't a free for all. Cooper Rush looked bad. They just look bad. Now CeeDee Lamb is hurt. It's just a lost season, and it's just. I'm going to be honest with y'all. When I said that to some of my Cowboys fans, they're like, "Marcus, I can't believe you just said that." They need to experience the basement. They need to, for maybe hitting rock bottom for Jerry. This will really kind of, I don't know. He's a stubborn old man, but
I think he's senile.
Yeah.
I really do. I think.
But what if you're running your team? He's just running this team into the ground. I mean, 3 straight years of 12-5, and then I understand. Dak Prescott's out for the year, and you lost, your second round pick Nealon, and you lost your, maybe one of your best defenders in DeMarcus Lawrence, and you lost your best defender and Micah Parsons, and you lost your All-Pro corner on the other side of Diggs. You lost Bland. He hasn't been back this year. But just the way that Mike McCarthy, he's coaching his last couple of games. He should have been fired after the Green Bay game, playoff game last year. But we'll see what happens. Chargers, look, everything that Jim Harbaugh touches turns to gold. This guy, I didn't expect him to be.
I like it. I don't even like him. So
yeah, everywhere he goes, he's a winner. He was a winner at Stanford. He was a winner. Everywhere that he's gone. Michigan won a national championship. Took the 49ers to the Super Bowl. Now, I still think that they're a draft away. I don't think that you can go against the top dogs in the AFC with
they got to have weapons, man.
Yeah, Lat McConkey. I like Lat McConkey. He's not a number one.
And I don't think the defense is that bad if the offense can move the chains.
That's what I'm saying, though. They as good as Herbert is, I still think that they're doing a lot of this with smoke and mirrors. I still don't think J.K. Dobbins, although he's having success this year, he seems to be healthy. J.K. Dobbins has 2 bad knees, and they don't have any receivers like Lad McConkey, Joshua Palmer. This offseason, they kind of solidified their offensive line. They went with the grown pick instead of the flashy pick. Instead of drafting Malik Neighbors, they go get Joe Alt. But I believe this offseason they're going to have to go and get some weapons to compete in the AFC West and to compete in the AFC overall with all of the dogs that you have in the AFC. The Pittsburghs, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bills. You gotta have weapons to go up against guys like that.
The AFC is wide open for, like you said, the top dog teams. The NFC right now, your top dog team is the Detroit Lions, period. 49ers were, but then they started suffering injuries. And I can recall my co-host saying, if something were to happen, and I don't wish injury on no players, and I know you don't, but you even said, I think it was last year, if he were to start losing some of those Pro Bowl players around
all pro,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If he starts losing some of those weapons, well, he lost his number 1 receiver this year to beginning of the year, and he lost his number 1 running back. And you see he's not playing as well, but no quarterback plays as well when you lose your number 1 receiver and number 1 running back.
Yeah.
No team is going to play like they would play if you had those guys playing.
Yeah.
I still say that's a loss. It's a loss of the preseason games that gets them into shape for regular football season. To me, there's no change in my mind. Now they're wanting to go to an 18-game season and drop another preseason game.
Yeah.
And if they drop down 2 more to just get 2 preseason games, it's not enough to get these guys in football-ready shape for the season.
Okay.
Fine. All right, move to 18 games.
Yeah.
But keep those. Go back to the 4 preseason games to get these guys in shape and find out who you got, what you got.
Or expand the roster, or give another bye week. I mean, there's a lot of other things they can do, and it to me it just reeks of
Another bye week, though. Another bye week is not going to get those guys in football shape at the beginning of the season to start out your first.
I think you look at Thursday night games. You play on a Thursday. The NFL, they reek of hypocrisy. You talk so much, not you. They talk so much about safety. Oh, well, guess what? If you have football players play 2 football games within 4 games, you're not trying to keep your players safe. What you're trying to do is you're trying to make money. When you try to get another regular season game, you're not playing. You think making them play another real football game is going to make the game safer? It's like, come on, dude. And then the Cardinals, they get a win over the Jets. I'm extremely disappointed with the Jets, and I look. No one was a bigger Aaron Rodgers fan coming into this season. I thought him coming into the season healthy.
There was probably one.
Well, probably one. My co-host, but he's been a disappointment, and I really do believe. And they interviewed him this week and asked him, what he would think about coming back next year, and I really do believe Aaron Rodgers needs to start. I think Aaron Rodgers needs to start thinking about retirement.
He look, why? When you can play like he's playing and still get paid the kind of money he's getting paid.
Well, if I'm the Jets organization, you're seeing now that maybe Robert Saleh wasn't the problem. I just think that they handled a lot of situations bad. They handled the Robert Saleh situation bad. They handled the Hassan Reddick situation bad.
But Saleh and Rodgers, at first they talked about Saleh and Rodgers and how good their relationship was.
Yeah.
But from game 1 with Rodgers under center, I can tell you the looks I was seeing from Rogers to Sala on the sidelines was not pretty.
No, it wasn't. But also, Aaron Rodgers hasn't played that good this year.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can do a lot of that stuff and the antics and all of that and the kind of smirky attitude, and he's always been like that. And
Diva.
people will tolerate it. They will tolerate it when you're winning. But when you're throwing picks in games and trying to throw in the triple coverage and make all of these fancy plays, and you're turning over the ball and stuff like that,
Yep.
you can't. You need to humble yourself. And I don't know if he, at this stage in his life, I don't know if he's able to do that. If I'm them, I'm starting to look at the kid, Travis Jordan, the kid that they got from Florida State, who I believe would have been one of the top quarterbacks taken in this past draft, in the 2024 draft, for that undefeated Florida team. He got hurt like the last game or the ACC championship or something like that. I would start looking at him to see if I need to draft a quarterback in this upcoming draft. So we'll see what happens. And then, congratulations to the Cardinals.
Since their season is pretty much lost now.
Yeah.
I think you could, if you have the balls to do it, bench Rodgers and put him in and see what
the
he
kid can do.
Yeah,
See what the kid can do. What do you have to lose? And then the Lions. The Lions are the most, in my opinion, the most complete team. Probably
on both sides of the ball.
When you look at, they can beat you so many ways. We can play smash mouth football. We can play a speed game with Gibbs. We got a good wide receiver. We got a good route runner, alpha dog wide receiver. We got speed, with Jamison Williams. We got a good tight end. Linebackers, secondary. Now they lost, of course. They lost Aiden Hutchinson. Hate to see that, but they go out and they go get a Zadarius Smith, who I think it's going to take him a couple of games. He's not Aiden, but he's not bad, and I think you'll hear from him sometime, during the playoffs or whatever. So we'll see what happens. It's still a lot of football left to be played, but you're starting to see people kind of settle in. And we're really starting to find out about these teams. Dolphins get the win over Monday Night Football. Dolphins get the win over the Rams.
And I did not take the Dolphins.
I didn't take the Dolphins either. I thought that the Rams would you're kind of starting to see here. I hate to say this too, the end of Matthew Stafford. I think you're kind of these guys starting to get 36, 37 years old. Everybody's not Brady that's going to play to 45. There's some weeks that Matthew Stafford looks out of this world. And then there's other weeks it's like, wow. For years with Detroit, Matthew Stafford took a freaking beating.
Yeah. And we know it.
Yeah.
And then he had the arm elbow injury. What, year 4 last?
Yeah.
So, and as you age, your injuries get harder to come back from.
Yeah.
We know this. Like you said last night, Father Time is undefeated. Although I still say that fight was fixed. But anyway.
Yeah.
I'm still really pissed off about that fight.
Yeah.
But hey, congratulations to the Dolphins and congratulations to Tua. They actually defensively they played better than I thought they would.
Yeah, you saw a Chop Robinson sighting. He had a pretty damn good game. Oh, and Calais Campbell.
Yes,
he was extremely disruptive in that game. He only had 1 sack, but he had pressures and tackles for loss. Like he was all over the place.
He had Stafford looking for him. He had Stafford constantly looking for him.
He played a hell of a game, and I just think for the Dolphins, I just think it's too little, too late. They would have to run off.
Yeah, I think so.
They would have to run. I mean, to get in the playoffs, you're talking. Could they run the table and go 11-6? I don't know. I don't know, and that's what they'd have to do because I don't know if. I don't know. Their margin for error is very thin at this stage, so we'll see what happens. Their schedule actually.
I think they have to win 9 straight.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, AFC They're going to have to win at least 9 straight.
Yeah, they got their hands in full, but they have talent on, especially on the offensive side. I don't know so much on the defensive side, but on the offensive side, they can put up points in bunches. So we'll see what happens as it goes along. News and notes. What we got? Look,
this is scary.
Yeah,
because eventually Hollywood Brown's going to be back.
Yeah,
Juju, I think, is playing this weekend.
Yes, he is.
So he's starting to get some of his weapons back.
Yeah, and they're undefeated. And they're undefeated without their weapons.
Yes.
That's.
How did they make it to week 11?
Yeah,
and be undefeated?
Yeah.
Now, granted, they've had the bye week, so 10 games, but still, how do you make it 10 games undefeated without your number one receiver, your number one running back, a guy who was sitting at home probably eating Cheetos when they called him, Hunt, to come up and hey, come play for us?
Juju cut by the Patriots, who have maybe the worst wide receiver core in the league.
I really think had they not cut him, I think he would have been a hell of a damn weapon for Drake May.
Yeah.
So,
he could. Yeah. It's Pacheco. I don't think people really appreciate Pacheco. I think he's kind of overlooked when it comes to other running backs. You think about you look at what Derrick Henry's doing this year, and you look at what Saquon Barkley's doing this year. I don't think that he really gets the recognition that he deserves with the Chiefs. He's kind of the glue that holds things together, because when they get in a mix, when they get in a little bit of trouble, you know what they do? Hand it off to 10, hand it off to 10, hand it off to 10. And he runs so violently. And what I'm interested in seeing, what I'm really excited to see, is whenever you talk about a 1-2 punch, we talked about Montgomery and Gibbs and, Najee and Warren and Brees and Braylon and Mostert and A-Chain. I'm interested to see with this guy here, especially coming off of a broken leg, it's going to probably take him a couple of weeks. And the way that he runs, that's just the way he runs. Now you got a guy who runs a lot like him, who also can catch the ball like him. And look, you're not losing much. Now, Hunt isn't as fast as Pacheco. Pacheco ran a 4.3, but you got
he may be for now, because coming back from the broken leg.
Yeah.
He may be a little bit faster for now.
Yeah.
But within 2 to 3 games, I think Pacheco is right back in there.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to have him back for my fantasy team, because I got him on 3 of my fantasy teams. So, welcome back, Pacheco. So glad to have you. I'm over here fighting for my life over here. We talked about it, Mona. We talked about it a little bit before the show. These quarterbacks that come in from these gimmicky offenses, they got to see if this guy can play. He's in year 2? He got hurt in his rookie season. He's been hurt this season. And you can't say that they haven't gone out and got him weapons. They look, you got Michael Pittman, you extended him. He's your number 1. You got Jonathan Taylor. You got a running back. You have you go out and you draft Adonai Mitchell. They're trying to put things around this guy. He's got to do a better job of protecting himself, and he's got to get in the classroom. And he's got to grow, and quite frankly, he's got to grow up a little bit. He's kind of, what I see with him is a lot of immaturity, and that happens a lot with guys that are naturally gifted. The thing that makes players special and just all-time greats, what makes them great is when you have a guy who's physically gifted, but he's also the hardest worker in the room. That's what it is. With him, I think football has come so easily for him because he's an athletic freak of nature. He's 6'5", he's 250 pounds, he runs a 4.4, he's got a rocket launcher arm, but he doesn't strike me as the hard worker, the classroom guy who sleeps in the class, sleeps at the facility, the Drake May type. The Bo Nix type. He doesn't strike me as that kind of guy. and he's going to
you know
have
who
to.
he reminds me of?
Who's that?
Jamarcus Russell.
Well, Demarcus Russell was morbidly obese, and he was lazy. This guy is a physical specimen.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and to me, that's the thing. He doesn't. I think for him, he just feels like, well, you know, I can just go out there and just rely on my athleticism, and the NFL doesn't generally work like that. You know, you gotta train. You gotta be in the weight. You gotta be in
One of the
the
things that Lamar did in the offseason too.
yeah.
Lamar
You know,
actually dropped like 20 pounds.
yeah. For me, I need to see some more maturity from you know. You don't generally the Colts don't miss. I mean, this is a team that went from from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck. You know, so this guy. I'm not saying he's a bust yet, but he's
That
got
went
to.
from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck and would not get him any damn protection, who
Yeah.
absolutely took more of a beating than
Yeah.
what was the
Yeah.
Texan quarterback?
David Carr. David's
David
brother.
Carr took a freaking beating every game.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and the guy was not a bad quarterback. He just took a damn beating every game.
Got ruined, you know, before he, you know, he
And the
just
same
got
thing happened
ruined.
to Andrew Luck.
Yeah. So hopefully this kid can get it together. You know, I think we'll see if maybe sitting behind Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's a seasoned veteran, a Super Bowl champion.
He's just old.
Maybe sitting behind him, a veteran. You know, sometimes these guys, you know, we talk about it a lot. You know, what's the best route for these young quarterbacks? To sit behind a veteran and learn with a clipboard, or to be thrown to the wolves?
I never liked him as a quarterback when he was with Baltimore. I think he just had so much talent around him, made him a better quarterback. But his defense was always phenomenal. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. He gets another chance to, you know, start. Hopefully, you know, being benched a little bit. Maybe that lights a fire under him, and we'll see what happens as far as with him. What we got next? You know, look, in the next few weeks, you're going to see this more and more. We've already had 2 head coaches get fired. Look, once the coordinators start getting fired, you know who's next. You know who's next. So they brought these guys in. You know, can you make Caleb Williams into a superstar? You know, he was picked number 1 overall. We have high expectations for him. So this guy, you know.
Did you know who Shane Waldron was before they brought him in as a head coach?
Well, as a coordinator, no, I did not know who he was. I didn't know who he was.
Or I meant offensive coordinator.
Yeah, you gotta look. You look at a guy like Jaden Daniels. He has a guy like Cliff Kingsbury as his offensive coordinator. You gotta find these young coordinators. These young
future offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, definitely. So, look, I don't know. The Bears are on a bad trajectory right now. I think they're going to ride it out, and I think you could see the Bears with a new head coach.
Bo, I agree 100% with what you just said. I feel whether it's better to be thrown to the wolves or learn behind a seasoned vet depends on where you're playing at.
It does. It definitely does. And your organization has a lot to do with, you know, if you have a team that's kind of ready-made, it has some things around it, I'm throwing you to the wolves. If we don't have anything and I throw you out there, you could get these kids ruined real fast. You can get them ruined real fast. You know, you look at it, you know, what Bryce Young is going through. He has nothing, and you just throw him out there. And then he's an undersized guy, too. You know, so Caleb Williams, look, he's thrown to the wolves. I think he's in a better situation than most young quarterbacks, number one overall pick quarterbacks coming in. It's not like you don't have, you know, you got 2 good runners. You got Swift and Roschon Johnson, running backs. You know, you drafted at 8 or 9. You drafted Rome Odunze. You got DJ Moore. You got Cole Kmet at tight end. You know, it's not like you're just going there with nothing. He's got to grow up. I think he's another one who had so much success And I think it was a lot of pressure on him too. You know, I remember when Mark Sanchez got drafted. He's the Mark Sanchez. He's coming in to save the organization. That's always a tough burden to bear as compared to other first round picks, the number one overall pick. You are coming here to save our franchise. It's not everybody's mentally capable of dealing with that type of pressure. Giants take over the worst record in NFL. I think you got another coach here, Brian Dable. And isn't that funny? Just a couple of years ago, he wins the NFL Coach of the Year. And that's how fast in NFL, not for long. People, it's a what have you done for me lately league. They don't care what you did yesterday. Every day, in the words of Shannon Sharpe, you have to update your resume. I think he's going to get fired. I think a lot of it too is talent. I think Brian Dable is a good coach. I don't think Daniel Jones is a very good quarterback. And I think he, you know, if Sean McDermott for the Bills were to have an embarrassing loss in these upcoming playoffs, I could see a scenario where Brian Dable would be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. We'll see. But Brian Dable, I think it's pretty much written in the stars that he gets fired at the end of the year. I don't think that he survives this. So it just goes to show you, you know, people will forget about you. You can have a good year and people are praising you as the best, one of the best coaches in the league, and then you have a couple of bad years and then you're the worst coach ever. So that's how it works. Speaking of, the AFC South is bad. They're really bad. The Jags had that number one spot sold up for the number one pick for a few weeks. Titans are bad. Colts, you know, we just talked about them with, you know, with Anthony Richardson. And the thing is, these teams, they got young quarterbacks. CJ Stroud, number 2 pick in the draft. Anthony Richardson, number 6 pick in the draft.
I still think, too, you got to take into account some of the injuries that Stroud has had on that team.
No doubt about it. No,
their gameplay.
Yeah, you know, losing Nico Collins.
It affects anybody.
Yeah, losing Nico Collins definitely. And then, you know, losing Will Anderson Jr., you know, you're one of your best defenders. But overall, as a division, you know, and it's not like they haven't spent, you know, Trevor Lawrence, number 1 pick. CJ Stroud, number 2 overall pick. Anthony Richardson, number 6 overall pick. And Will Levis. Now, I think the love affair with Will Levis is kind of starting to wear off. I think that the Titans, if they're anywhere, you know, in the top 10, where maybe one of those quarterbacks fall, the Quinn Ewers or somebody like that, I could see them maybe drafting another quarterback. So we'll see what happens. But it's not a very good. Does anybody in that division? Yeah, the Colts. They're the only ones that got a Super Bowl ring in that division. Rivalries. Y'all heard me. I did a coffee talk this week, and every time I mention this, people get upset when I say this. Mona, what's my saying? Mona, you there? Mona?
I am sorry.
What's my saying when it comes to rivalries?
You're not a rivalry when one team wins all the time.
It's not. If we play a lot, yes, we just play a lot, but you're not my rivalry. If we play pool and I beat you 18 out of 20 times, we're not rivals. We just play a lot. That's all. And I just take your money all the time. You know? If you haven't won a division championship in 20 years and I've won 5 in a row, we're not rivals. We're just not. So, you know, talking about, you know, I put a thing up this week in the group. What is the best rivalry in the NFL right now? Mona, what you think it's the Steelers and the Ravens as far as rivalries?
Absolutely. I think it's the Steelers and Ravens because I've seen the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. I've seen that rivalry throughout the years, but most of the time the Green Bay Packers lead that. They're usually, like you said, you're not a rival
If I
when
take
one
your
team wins all the time.
when I take your lunch money every time I see you, that's not a rivalry,
That
dude.
doesn't happen in Pittsburgh. Usually, look, this says by one score, but the majority of the time, the Steelers and the Ravens are a 1 or 2 point differential at the end of the game.
Yeah.
27 games have been decided by one score, and usually it's a field goal. Is
Now
that what?
now the Bengals have been to the Super Bowl more recently than anybody, but really the Bengals have only really kind of gotten halfway decent since Joe Burrow's got there.
Yeah.
That's really it. Like before that,
You had your Red
they were
Bomber
getting, you know,
and
with Andy Dalton, they were still getting their and Chad Ochocinco and all those boys. They were Carson Palmer. They were getting their ass kicked in too. Cleveland Browns came back into the league in '99 with Tim Couch. You're basically an expansion team. They're because the old Browns are the Ravens now.
Yeah.
So the Browns
They're
are not a
now.
lot.
Not now. Not now. They're not the Browns. I mean, they've been away from Cleveland long enough to not.
No,
be
I'm saying though that
It's
franchise
not-
though they took they took all of their players with them. They took all of those players with them. I mean, they're the old Cleveland Browns. I mean that, but this version of the Cleveland Browns now is an expansion team. They're like 20 years or 25 years old. You know, Tim Couch was their number one pick, and they ever since then they've been drafting quarterbacks, and they ain't really been the Baker Mayfields, the Johnny Manziels, the all Brandon Whedons and all these boys.
I think they've had more quarterbacks in the last 20 years than probably any other team in the NFL. That's the truth.
And Aaron Rodgers said that too. He's like, yeah.
Packers
We're
are
their
not
owner.
the rival. The Packers are the Bears' owner.
Their owner. He said, "I own you. I own you." You know, I look. And somebody had told me they were like, "Well, Josh Allen said that he respects us." Josh Allen's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. But let me tell you the kind of talk that happens in the locker room. Y'all remember a few years back whenever they caught Adrian Peterson when Antonio Brown and Mike Tomlin was talking. He was like, "Oh yeah, we respect the Patriots. They're the gold standard." And you know what Mike Tomlin was saying in the locker room? We just kicked the ass out of them. That's what he said.
Yep.
Look, there's the.
I was watching that live. I was watching Antonio Brown live from the locker room.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie. I was watching because I was hoping I was going to see some naked asses.
The conversations that you have at the press conference and the conversations that you have, if I just beat you down, oh yeah, we respect them and blah blah blah. And you know what I'm going to say in the locker room? I just kicked his ass. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say, and that's what Josh Allen says. He's going to say, "Yeah, I respect the Miami Dolphins," but the fact of the matter is, I'm 13-2 versus you. I'm 13-2 versus you. I don't worry about you.
Just like Tom Brady used to say the same thing about the Buffalo Bills.
Oh yeah, we respect you. We always know when we play Buffalo, it's going to be a tough game. Yes, and I'm 40.
Listen, the only one in the AFC East that Tom Brady worried about when he was playing for the Patriots, the only team, was the Miami Dolphins because they always split. Always. If they went to Miami and beat Miami, Miami would go to New England and beat New England.
This just the way it works. But I'm looking forward to this game. We're about to make our picks as far as this. We got a lot of really good games. Like Meek Mill says, whatever you do, there's levels to this. Every week we bring you our leaders and our power rankings. Look, Mona, your Steelers, they're creeping on. They're moving on up like the Jeffersons to a deluxe apartment in the sky high. Y'all started off at like 16, and every week, you're kind of creeping up there. And then, look, the Giants fall all the way. The Panthers were down there at 32. The Jags are 30. The Giants at 32 now. For a few weeks, the Vikings were, in the top 3. So this week here, I think this week here is going to give us a lot of answers. We got a lot of big games, Chiefs, Bills, Steelers, Ravens. We're about to find out. We're about to find. We just had on Thursday night. We had the Eagles, Commanders. To see who was going to be in first place in the NFC East. You're starting to kind of see everybody's kind of starting to. It's the picture's starting to come a little bit clearer about who the teams are to be. 49ers started off hot. They're at 11 now, So that Steelers Ravens game, that Chiefs Bills game, you got 1 versus 4, you got 3 versus 6, you had 5 versus 7, a couple of days ago. You're about to start seeing. We're about to start seeing, okay, we know who these guys are now. So there's your power rankings there. Any surprises there to you, Mona?
Not really. Not really. Look, never do you ever usually see the Cowboys at 28.
Mm-hmm.
Usually that's never happened, but y'all have had a lot of injuries. And you have Jerry Jones. That's your biggest injury.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at the overall, the Jets kind of were a shock because we all thought the Jets. A few of us thought the Jets were going to do good this year. If Aaron Rodgers was a mediocre quarterback, and he's played bad this year.
Yeah.
Cincinnati being at 15, that kind of shocks me. Look. The Cardinals being at number 10, that's a sleeper team. That team, week after week, is winning games that nobody's picking them in the pick'em league. Nobody's picking them to win, but they're winning. And people might, getting ready to do our Rocky Bottom Tough Guy Awards. Sorry. I don't know how a mosquito got in my house, but anyway.
Got him. He dead now.
Yeah,
I
gotta clean my monitor now.
What you say? I hope that little bite of blood you got was worth your life, huh?
Oh, he didn't bite me, but I killed his. But anyway, that was it. I think the Washington Commanders has shocked the country. Jaden Daniels. No film study on this kid until after he has his first full season. Said the same thing about CJ. And I think he's had kind of more of a down year this year. But also, injuries didn't help. I think the big rising star, Caleb Williams, and where are the Bears at right now? They're ranked 20th. So some of these teams, not so shocking. Chargers up at number 12 now. I remember last year they were in between the 17 and 24s.
49ers at 11.
Yeah,
they're normally in the top 5. They're normally in the top 5 or so.
Well, I mean, last year a couple times they were in the top number 1 and number 2 place.
Yeah.
Baltimore's up at number 3. I think that the deeper they get into playing tougher defenses, I think that you're going to start seeing them have some problems. I just do. I will tell you, I have my Steelers beating Baltimore in Pittsburgh.
We'll get there, Bona. But I want to say this. That's great. But if the Ravens, I'm not saying that they will. I'm not making my picks
I'll be here. I've always been here. Don't matter who we play.
Rain
I do not run, rain or shine. I can't be on camera right now because I don't even have a webcam hooked up right now. So, but I am working on that, and actually might have a new computer here soon. So, I'll be happy with that. Buffalo Bills, number 4. They are consistent. They've been in the top 5 the last few years, and they're consistent.
We're about to find out about them this week too in that Kansas City game because we're about to see. I think Kansas City likes where they are. I don't think that they want to. I think Kansas City likes that. We're kind of the big brother. Every time we see you, well, not really in the regular season, more so in the postseason, but we kind of got y'all's number, and I think the Bills are kind of tired of that. And I think the Chiefs want to continue that. So a lot.
Dwayne says, I believe the Chiefs will lose to the Steelers in regular season on Christmas Day. I believe the Steelers and Chiefs will play each other in the AFC Championship game. I don't know about that.
Oh, wow.
I will be honest with you. I'd rather lose to you in the regular season and then play you in the damn playoffs.
Yeah. We'll definitely find out. What we got next, Mona?
Okay, we got our top 5 passing, receiving, and rushing yard leaders.
Now that Joe Burrow game, Ravens game, him and Chase just put on an absolute show. Now,
bad officiating cost them the win too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Look, I like what I see here. Look, Joe Burrow and the Bengals this offseason, they're going to have to look at how their team is constructed, because you're probably going to lose you are going to lose T. Higgins, and you're probably going to lose Trey Hendrickson too, who's leading the league in sacks right now. So they're going to have to. I
think they pay Hendrickson. I think they don't even attempt to keep Higgins.
And see, the thing with Hendrickson is he's going to want. When I'm leading the league in sacks, that's TJ Watt, Myles Garrett type stuff.
Yep.
I need $30+ million. I don't know if they have it, because you're gonna have to make Chase. Chase is gonna jump over Jefferson and CD when he comes up on his contract next year. He's jumping over CD and Jefferson. Yeah. So you're gonna have the second highest paid quarterback and the highest paid wide receiver. I don't think you can also have a top 3 paid edge rusher either. So, it's gonna the Bengals have a lot of decisions they have to make. I thought that they should have traded T by the trade deadline, because you're basically going to lose them for nothing. You're not going to be able to pay. You can't have 2 $30 million wide receivers. You just can't do it. So let me see. The Bills have been playing trash teams. How can a team get better when they haven't had a challenge on this? Well, you know what, Dwayne? We'll find out this week. we're about to find out this week, because I think it's in Buffalo. We're about to make our picks here in a minute, but we're about to find out. Derrick Henry running away. Now, this is for week 10. Barkley just jumped over Derrick Henry.
Yeah, he just jumped over him with the Thursday night game.
Because he had
11. So.
Yeah. So it's going to be, we'll see too what Derrick Henry does this week. But what Derrick Henry does this week. But
I'm going to say 60 yards. I'm saying 60 yards and a touchdown. I'm going to give him 60 yards and a touchdown this weekend against my Steelers defense.
Okay, we're definitely going to see.
I'm telling you, if Cincinnati can keep him at 63 yards, I think Pittsburgh may actually keep him less.
Okay, would you rather have Derrick Henry run for 150 yards or Lamar Jackson throw for 400 yards? But you got to pick one or the other. Which would you rather have?
I'd rather him run for 100 yards, but I don't.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't think either one's going to happen against my Steelers defense.
Okay,
we're getting ready to find out.
We will definitely find out.
1 o'clock. I'll be here.
We'll be right here. So here's all your offensive leaders, and because my lovely co-host is such a defensive-minded girl,
I hated that Bengals Ravens game. I'm going to tell you, that was the boringest ass game. I mean, it was exciting seeing the touchdowns and the running and all. Don't get me wrong, but I like seeing defense.
Smash mouth. Look at Dante Fowler Jr. This guy was a backup with Dallas last year. This guy was a first-round pick. And then Hendrickson's going to get paid. He's going to get paid. And then I think you're kind of starting to see with Dexter Lawrence a nose tackle.
I think they get rid of him. I think that they're going to have to start rebuilding this team, And
Who,
Dexter
the
Lawrence,
Bengals?
yep, and he's going to want some more money.
Who, the Bengals?
No, the Giants, Dexter Lawrence.
No. I don't think they're going to get rid of Lawrence. I think they're going to get rid of. They're not paying anybody, and I think that Daniel Jones is gone after this year, so they'll probably pay Dexter Lawrence. Who else are they paying? They let Saquon Barkley go. They're not paying any receivers. Barkley's gone. Their number one receiver is a rookie.
Yep.
Daniel Jones is going to be gone, so he's probably going to get paid. He'll probably be one of the top paid defensive players there. I can't think of anybody on the Giants that they're really paying right now.
You're right. I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is eating up
all. They could probably get a couple picks from somebody.
Oh, I'm sure. So, and then I like Will McDonald. And I think the thing about what this really holding them back is that, the quarterback play. I'm really disappointed in Aaron Rodgers this year. And they're going to have to decide what they want to do with Raddick, because I would really like to see Raddick and McDonald together for a full season. But I don't think you're going to see that till next year. So there's your sack leaders there. Okay. And then, these quarterbacks, this is not the normal names that we see. But Lamar Jackson, really stepping his game. I think
the last couple of years, no, you're right.
Yeah,
Burrow is the only one really that's been on this consecutive list, probably.
Well, Burrow had a bad year last year. Remember, it was Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott last year.
He had a bad wrist injury last year, right?
Yeah. So look, it's all about staying healthy. You got to stay healthy. It's a little bit of luck involved. You got to stay healthy, and the players that you rely on around you got to stay healthy too, Burrow's doing this without T. Higgins. T. Higgins ain't played like 3 games.
He's doing without T. Higgins, and they got rid of Tyler Boyd.
Yeah,
So,
and then a lot of this with Baker's, he was getting this when he still had Evans and Godwin, but still, he gets back Evans this week.
But he's still playing good football. He's throwing the football pretty well, and to be honest with you, Bucs should have beat the 49ers. Bad calls in that game.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So, still, like I said, a lot of football left to be played. Mona, give me some Rocky Bauer players.
Okay. So, our Rocky Bauer Tough Guy Award segment. And here you go, guys. Here's your Defensive Players of the Week for Week 10. You got Teron. Is it Teron or Taron?
Teron Johnson.
Okay. Teron Johnson with the Buffalo Bills. 3 tackles, 1 sack. 2 passes defended, and a 23-yard touchdown return, interception touchdown return. I'll get it right in a minute. And then you got Zach Bond with 8 tackles, 2 forced. Is that forced? No, it's not forced fumbles.
Forced fumbles, yeah. 2 forced fumbles.
And 1 fumble recovery and 1 tackle for loss with the Eagles.
That's not a name that you normally hear there with the Eagles.
Yeah. Offensive Players of the Week for Week 10 are none other than Lamar Jackson with a 75.8 completion rate, percentage rate against the Bengals defense. Okay. Anyway, just saying. Had to throw that in there. And then Kyler Murray with the Arizona Cardinals, who I think are a sleeper team. I don't know that they go very far into the playoffs, but I think they actually make it to the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
91.7 completion percentage rate.
91%.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Great. They have their 92% completion. That's cooking right there.
Yeah. 3 total touchdowns, 21 rushing yards, 266 passing yards with a passer rating of 126.7. So pretty good. I didn't mention Lamar had a passer rating of 141.4. So okay. And our special teams players of the week for Week 10 are Leo Chenal. Blocked game-winning field goal attempt, and Jason Gates with Detroit with 8 points, 2-point after attempts, 2 field goals, and a 50-yard winning field goal.
Is it just me, or are these kickers getting better?
Oh, I think they're getting better.
I
But
think 50 yards back in the day used to be just like,
you go back
yeah,
and you look at a lot of the kickers in the NFL now, those
mhm,
guys used to play soccer.
yeah,
Those guys play soccer in high school and
yeah,
college.
yeah. No, Aubrey. I know Aubrey was a soccer player. These guys, 50 yards back in the day used to be like, a really big feat. And these guys, they're kicking 60, 65 yarders now. When
Yep.
they get to damn near, midfield, these guys are nearly in damn field goal range. So now they're talking about trying to make it harder for the kickers. Like, no, man, don't punish the kickers. They're perfecting their craft. They're
Yeah.
perfecting their craft. Reward them. So I think we're ready to make our picks now for this week.
Well, we're going to talk about the
Okay.
Thursday night game last night since we really haven't talked about
Okay.
it.
Look. Another game that kind of started off kind of slow.
Yeah.
And you saw some things there where Jaden Daniels kind of showed his rookie chops.
Well, I think it was a lot to do too with the defense he was playing against.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when you start facing better defenses and stuff, that rookie, that you see that guys are a rookie. We're going to show you some stuff that you haven't seen. I still think he's the front runner for the offensive rookie of the year.
I do too.
But I will say another thing with them. I think that they're a draft away too. I think the Eagles, they're the old wily team. For the past couple of years, it's been the Eagles and the Cowboys. I don't really view Scary Terry as a number one wide receiver. I know he gets good money. I don't view him as like that. I don't view Scary Terry as like Jamar Chase or CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson. I don't view him like that. I view him as more of a smallish speed guy. This offseason, I would really like to see them weather through the draft, weather through free agency, T. Higgins. I would like to see them get another. Well, I really wouldn't as a Cowboy fan. I hope that they just keep what they have. But I think for that offense to really get to where it needs to be, I think that they need another guy on the outside that can threaten the defense. I think I still think that they're a draft away. And once again, we see, and Mona, you know this, with your guy Jerome Bettis coming over from the Rams to your Steeler back in the day.
Oh yeah, yep.
Saquon Barkley has changed life for the Eagles. You starting to see that this guy. A lot of people thought that maybe he wasn't as good as he was with the Giants, and I think it was just, again, when you have substandard quarterback play. And the defense that you're playing against doesn't have any respect for your quarterback or for your wide receivers for that matter, and they just load the box up on you. Now you're starting to see with Saquon Barkley with clear lanes and not having to face loaded boxes, because you still got to worry about A.J. Brown. You still got to worry about Devontae Smith. You still got to worry about Dallas Goedert. And you still have to worry about Jalen Hurts taking off. This guy is the perfect addition to that Eagles defense. And I hate the Eagles because I'm a Cowboys fan, but I give credit where credit is due. This guy here, if Derrick Henry doesn't win I think Lamar's a shoe-in for the as of today, and a lot can change in the next few weeks. I think Lamar's running away with the MVP. Right after that, I have Derrick Henry and maybe Saquon Barkley as your offensive player of the year. Saquon Barkley looks like a new man playing on that Eagles team.
Kind of like McCaffrey did when he left the Panthers and went to the 49ers.
Yes, exactly. And he's the thing with him is, because of his, he's a power runner. And Mona, we were talking about this. Barkley can take it to the house every time he touches a ball. And that's scary for a defense. It looks like it's maybe just a 3-yard gain, and he's hitting his head on the goalpost. He's dangerous, and he adds a whole nother element. They've had running backs there. There were good backs. DeAndre Swift was a good back. Miles Sanders was a good back. But he kind of gives them that Shady McCoy. Back in the day when they had Shady McCoy, he gives them that type of element to their game. Because it's like, okay, he takes a little screen, he puts his foot in the ground, and he's outrunning everybody down the field. And that makes them dangerous. So, look, great, and I think he makes life a whole lot easier for Jalen Hurts, too, because he can just turn around 20 times a game and hand it to this guy. So.
I would like to also mention Washington's offense had 262 total yards against the Eagles. And that was
Yeah. And let's not forget, they got 2 rookies playing over there. Kenyon Mitchell might be in the conversation. I don't have him as the front runner for it. But
you
Kenyon
do find that
Mitchell,
impressive, though, right?
what's that?
You find it impressive that they only had 262 yards offense against the Eagles defense. Guess what? They only had 242 against Pittsburgh's defense.
Yeah, I like the kid. They got 2 kids over there. The 2 rookies in the secondary, Cooper DeJean and Kenyon Mitchell. I don't know how the hell they got both of them in the draft, because they were 2 of the top rated. When we did our draft show, Mona, they were. Some people had them as
You want to know why? Because Florida didn't get to play in any of the playoff games last year. They got kind of screwed out of that.
Yeah.
And so nobody was really looking at their players as in depth as they were as a college football team.
So congratulations to the Eagles. They're in the driver's seat in the NFC East now.
And they have a hell of a guy, scouts going out watching these guys play. They always have a hell of a draft. Yeah. Eagles always have a good draft.
They do. And Howie Roseman, I don't know how he does it. The way he's like, that's why I get so mad when Jerry Jones talking about, we couldn't afford this. I'm like, dude, they're paying so many guys. They're paying Brown and Smith and Goddard and Barkley. Barkley's one of the highest paid running backs. And Hurts. Shut up. Like, really, save it. So congratulations to the Eagles, and congratulations to them. So we're ready to.
I know how hard that was for you.
It's painful this year, Mona. It's really painful this year with the stuff I see. But I ain't a hater.
And the thing is it's not even just football this year. It's so many things that's happened this year, and honestly, I kind of feel like some of the life in you has gone.
Yeah,
I've seen it, and me too. Listen, me too. I had the one bright spot I have this year. My Dodgers won the World Series, and my Steelers are playing some pretty good football.
Yeah, it helps. You got to have some type of escape somewhere. Have a little bit of joy in our lives, So, right. Mona, we both took the Eagles.
Yes.
We both took the Eagles. All right. So.
Oh, you took I thought. No, you did. You took the Eagles.
Yeah, we both took the Eagles. So, our 1:00 games. Green Bay at Bears, Mona.
Look, I got the Packers. Okay. The Bears are playing like crap right now. And I think Jordan Love gets it back together. If he's playing, is he playing this week?
I don't know. He's there's no injury. I really wish they would sit him because he's got a growing injury, and that's just one of those soft tissue injuries that you could be doing a bootleg and you kind of take off and open up and run a little bit and he re-aggravate it.
All right, so the Packers, Jordan Morgan, IR. Evan Williams, questionable. Jair Alexander, questionable. Colby Woodson, doubtful. Marshawn Lloyd was on IR. Kevin Jenkins is out for the Bears. Kieran Amadadi, I know I've talked that up. He's out. Montez Sweat is questionable. And Tavarius Moore is questionable. Look. Malik is actually playing some pretty good football.
In the conversation, yeah, he's look playing with the Titans. People kind of threw him under the bus. He's not that good, and you're kind of starting to see some of those things. He was kind of thrown to the wolves with the with the Titans, you see now he kind of gets to sit back and, you know, sit back and learn. You know, you kind of see he gets on the field, he looks like a totally different player now.
All right, I'm taking Packers 28-18.
Okay. I'm
And I
also
don't even know if the Bears. I don't even know if the Bears score 18. But
I'm gonna say 24-17 Packers as well. The Bears, they just, you know, and watch, this will be the week that the Bears open up and score 40 points. But yeah, I'm taking the Packers in this game. The Battle of the Cats, Jags at Lions. Mo.
I am taking the Lions, and I'm going to say it's not going to be pretty at all. I think that game. I think the Lion catches the Jaguar and eats him for dinner. I'm gonna, and I think I just kind of have a feeling by the fourth quarter they pull a lot of their starters, because I think the game is going to be like 34. I'm gonna say 34-15.
And that's crazy. I had 35-14 on Lions, 35-14. Vikings at Titans.
Damn, I wonder who's starting for Titans.
I think Mason is. I haven't heard anything about Will Levis. I've been looking. I think Mason's.
Vikings defense is going to be ready, and Mason does not have enough weapons. So I'm going to take the Vikings, and it's in Tennessee, but it's just like over the mountain to them. So I'm going to take Vikings 24-18.
I'm also taking the Vikings.
It's awful.
Yeah, I'm also going Vikes. I'm going to say 30-12. 30-12. Vikings offense is the Titans offense is terrible. Raiders at Dolphins, Mona.
It's a damn setup game if I ever heard of one. Dolphins are going to be a little on fire. And it's in Miami. And coming off that win, I'm going to take the Dolphins 28-12.
I'm also taking the Dolphins. I think they light these boys up. I think they like them. You're going to see I could see one of those Tyreek type games or Achane type games.
They still have Max Crosby, and he's going to create some havoc.
Yeah, but they can't stop the run. I could see a lot of Achane and Mostert in this one here. 30-10. Their offense is the Raiders' offense is terrible. They don't have anybody over there that scares you. Rams at Patriots, Mona.
Oh, God. Rams got beat by the Dolphins. Didn't the Patriots beat the Dolphins earlier?
No.
I thought
No,
they beat the Patriots pretty bad.
Yeah. Jay was bragging about that because we're bad, but we're not Patriots bad.
Although Patriots are winning games that you just don't usually pick. I'm going to go with the Rams.
Okay.
24-12.
I may end up changing my mind on this one closer to half to kick off. You might have some elements over there this weekend, and the Patriots are a problem when it's cold out. I'm going to say a low-scoring game, 17-10 Rams. 17-10. Brownies at Saints. Otis, if you're listening, when you listen, if you all lose this game, our wager's over. Just
Browns
so you
win.
know. You taking the Brownies?
I'm taking the Browns because Winston is playing against the Saints. A little bit of payback, maybe.
Okay.
And I think the Browns defense is still pretty damn good.
Okay.
So I'm going to take.
Who the Saints beat last week? They won a game that I wasn't expecting. It. They beat the Falcons last week, didn't they?
Yeah, but we all know Kirk Cousins shit the bed in that game.
Okay.
I mean, come on. They shit the bed. He shit the bed in that game. He really did. It was awful.
Okay.
I was stuck watching that game. I couldn't get any good games. And I took the Falcons to win, too.
Yeah, I did too.
Thank you very much, Kirk Cousins. Anyway, I'm taking the Brownies. I don't think it's going to be a real high-scoring game. Browns do pretty well stopping the run. So I don't think Kamara's going to have a huge big day against them. I'm going to say low scoring 18-15 Browns.
18-15. And I'm taking the Saints 14-10. I think it's at home. It's going to be in that dome. That place is going to be rocking. I think they're excited about
Jameis is used to that dome, though. So
yeah, we'll see though. But either way, if the Browns lose, I win, and if the Saints win, I still win. So either way it goes, I win. I win. Colts at Jets, Mona. The Jets are making it so hard this year. They've been the ones that have been messing up my picks. I'm picking at 92%. I got 100 wins. I'm 153. 100 wins, 53 misses. Picking at 92%, and most of my losses have been because of the Jets, the punk ass Jets.
The Colts are coming off of a loss to Buffalo.
And remember, Richardson's playing this week. He's starting this week, not Flacco. Not Flacco.
But the Colts defense is pretty damn good. They kept that game close with Buffalo for a while. But I still think Jets defense is better. I think Colts. Colts, can they get to Aaron Rodgers? Because we know he can't scramble at all anymore. But I'm still going to take. Is this it? Where's this game? Jets. I'm going to. Yeah, in the Meadowlands. I'm gonna take the Jets. 28-18.
I'm also taking the Jets. This is the last hurrah for the Jets.
They don't win this.
If they don't win this game, I'm not picking them no more this year.
Yep,
y'all are messing up my record. I'm trying to get to like 95%, and y'all are really messing that up. Y'all, I'd like to be at 95% for my picks, and y'all are really messing that up. Jets, this is your last chance. 20-12 Jets.
Yeah, like Jets lost to the Cardinals, but I'm gonna tell you something. Cardinals were at home.
And they got a good offense. They're explosive on
Cardinals are that sleeper team, man. They're really
Marvin Harrison Jr., your boy James Conner and Trey Benson. They got some pieces over there they're starting to put together. The game I'm looking forward to, probably one of the games that I'm looking forward to most this week, Ravens at Steelers. Mona.
No, you didn't give me a score for a Colts Jets game.
I did. I said 20-12.
Oh, Jets, right?
Yes.
I am taking Steelers over the Ravens. I think it's going to be a battle. But I think that our defense does just enough, and I think that we might actually have a couple of turnovers in this game. I'm taking Steelers 28, 24.
28-24. And I got a close game too, but I'm taking the Ravens. But this is a 50-50 game. It really is. It just depends. It depends on how it goes.
And
I-
Dwayne said, "Don't forget your wager pertaining to the Jets."
Okay, I got you. Yeah. 30-27 Ravens. Justin Tucker with a game-winning field goal. It's going to be close. It's going to be some even flows.
Misses the field goal, it goes into overtime, and Pittsburgh wins.
If the Steelers win this game, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, to me, this is a true 50-50 game. It just depends on
Pittsburgh is playing against a rival who is trying to take first place away from us, and nobody had us where we are at right now at the beginning of the season.
I may end up changing this pick here just because I've seen the Ravens get their ass kicked this year.
Yeah,
I saw them.
by the Cleveland Browns and Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
And the Cleveland Browns have a good defense. Jameis Winston had a great game against Baltimore. He really did. But that defense is what hurt Baltimore.
Yeah, that was. I may end up changing this pick here. I'm gonna go with the Ravens for now. As it gets closer to game time, I probably will be making a change in my pick. I got a lot riding on the Steelers this weekend too, because I got Russell Wilson, I got Najee Harris, I got Jaylen Warren, I got George Pickens, and a lot of my
Jaylen Warren's out.
He's out?
They've already announced him out.
Okay.
Oh, no. He was out earlier. He's not out. Now he's questionable.
Okay.
Now he is questionable.
I will be watching that closely because I've been starting.
I warned you. I told you that they were showing him out early.
Yeah.
I think it was Tuesday. Tuesday or Wednesday, I went on to do my picks.
Yeah.
And they had him out. And I messaged you right away.
Yeah,
but
did.
now, today, I was looking at it and they have him questionable. So. But look, if he is injured, and it's a back injury. If he is injured, I would rather they sit him. I really would want him. I really want all three of my running backs.
What's Patterson's status?
He's playing.
He's playing. Okay.
I sometimes you got to lose a battle to win the war, and we have so many tough games coming up and division rival games. You know, we play Baltimore this weekend. Next weekend we play the Browns. The following weekend we play the Bengals. Then we play the Browns again.
Yeah, if there's any chance that it's a lingering type injury, I'm sitting Warren.
Yep. And Alex Highsmith
he's out. He's out. He's out.
supposed
He's already been ruled out.
Would you give me a second? He's supposed to be back next weekend against the Browns.
Okay.
But again, I don't care about the battle. I want to win the war. If he is not 100%, do not bring him back.
Roll with Preston Smith. That's what you brought him in for.
That's exactly right.
Roll
and
with
not only
Preston
that,
Smith.
but you got Cam Sutton back behind him.
He's back.
You have Landon Roberts. You got Cam Hayward. It's not like we're weak.
Yeah.
Alex Highsmith makes a huge difference when he's 100% healthy. Don't put him in there half-assed.
Yeah. I'm totally with you. This is why you brought in Preston Smith for that depth on your pass rush.
Exactly.
Okay. Falcons at Denver, Mona.
Oh my God. Broncos barely lost to the Chiefs on a block punt, field goal. Or was it a block punt?
They
I think it was a block punt.
Butker. Yes, they blocked it. Yes, they blocked it at the last minute. Melissa was furious. He's like, we got them. We got them.
I will score 17-16 is what I was looking at too.
Yeah.
I think that gives them, and Bo Nix had a decent game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that gives them some firepower. And as bad as Kirk Cousins played, and they're going into Denver, Mile High, where everybody has problems breathing. You know what? I'm going to take a chance, and I'm taking the Broncos. It's low scoring game. I'm going to say, but you know what? Yeah, 18-16 Broncos.
18-16, and I'm going 17-14 Broncos. I like what the Broncos are doing.
I do
like
too.
what they're
And I
doing.
think they're a draft away of having a really good.
Got to get another receiver.
Yeah.
Got to get another receiver. Seahawks at Niners, Mona.
McCaffrey's back.
He's back.
And I think Seattle is kind of lingering off a little bit. I'm going to take Seattle.
Oh, you're taking Seattle?
No, I mean 49ers, sorry.
Oh, I was about to say.
I was writing Seattle's name down.
I was about to say, damn.
I'm going to take the 49ers. It's in San Fran.
Mm-hmm.
28-15.
They got back their kicker, Moody. I like him. 49ers kicker. He's pretty damn good. And I think Christian McCaffrey, I think they've been waiting for this. I think he could have played a couple weeks ago. I think that the guys that Jordan Mason and Isaac Guerrendos have really held it down for him where they didn't have to rush him back. I think for them to bring him back, he's fully healthy and he is a difference maker. 24-17 49ers. The Seahawks, they still got a good offense. I like Kenneth Walker III, and Geno's playing pretty good, and DK.
Well, McCaffrey played last week too.
I'm saying though, like this week, that first game back, but I think this week is the week that you see the Christian McCaffrey that we're used to. I think it takes a couple of games to get back into game condition, game shape. Another game of the week. KC at Bills, Mona.
I am taking KC in a close one.
Okay.
And I may regret this one. I didn't take the Bills last week either. And I should have, but I didn't. I'm going to say 31-28. No, I don't even think she scored that much. I just think that defense is going to stop the Bills. 20. They got Pacheco back. In red zone.
Yep.
I don't think they can stop him. 28-24.
Chiefs.
Because I agree with whoever it was that said it earlier. The Bills have played trash teams. They have not played any playoff.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was Dwayne. I will
And
also say that,
Juju is back too.
yeah, but the Chiefs have been getting by the skin of their teeth. And I believe in the law of averages. The football gods give it, and the football gods take it away. You're not going to just keep skating by. Eventually, the bill comes due. They've gotten some calls.
A lot of
And
teams
they,
have. So did the Baltimore Ravens last weekend.
no doubt, no doubt. But it seems a little bit more that they get calls that they should have lost that first game to the Ravens with
We
the
talked about that.
So that being said, to be the man,
You got to beat the man.
you got to beat the man. And until further notice, the Chiefs it's going to be a close game, 30-27 Chiefs. I'm going to look at the injury report on that too. I got a lot riding on that game in fantasy. Bengals, Sunday night. Bengals, the Bengals, they have no more margin for error. If they lose this game, they're done, because you're not going to catch the Steelers or the Ravens if you lose this game. Bengals at Chargers, Mona.
I still have the Bengals winning this game.
Yeah.
I just think they outscore the Chargers because the Chargers just don't have any real weapons for Herbert. I'm going to say Bengals. $31. Although Chargers do have a decent defense, I kind of rank them up about the same as Baltimore's.
T. Higgins is back this week too.
I'm going to say 31-21 Bengals.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bengals too. I just look, that defense is great, but you also got to have some firepower. And I think the Bengals, they know if they lose this game, they're done. You're already probably not going to catch the Steelers or the Ravens. You're not going to win the division, so your only way is through a wild card spot.
And trust me, Bengals fans are hoping Pittsburgh gets beat.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the Baltimore Ravens done beat them twice this year.
30-20 Bengals. 30-20 Bengals. And then Monday night, Battle of Texas. The game featuring the two Texas teams. Texans at Cowboys. Mona?
Look, I do not like the way that the Texans are playing football right now. But I think having Nico Collins back for a second week helps CJ Stroud.
He didn't play last week. No. He's on my fantasy team, trust me. He didn't play last week. He was a last-minute scratch. He was supposed to play. He was a last-minute scratch, and I was scrambling trying to find a replacement.
Texans took a loss to the Lions by 3 points.
Yeah.
I'm going to take with Nico Collins back, I'm taking the Texans over the Cowboys. And I'm going to say you got is Parsons back?
Yeah, he's back. He played last week. But Bland is not back.
Right.
Bland, I don't know what the hell. He's in the 21-day window, and if he don't play by next week, I think they got to put him on permanent IR for the rest of the season. So
I'm taking Texans 31-16. 31-16.
I'm also taking the Texans. I had a wager against my guy, my Texans guy. He was like, the wager was if the Cowboys, this was before the season started. That's why you never get too excited at the beginning of the season. that I
Right.
have to put this up on my wall.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
And then you should have to mail it to him.
Yeah. Thanks, Mona. What if a little bit more? You just gave him. You just gave him a good idea, Mona. I probably will just so I can get it the hell out of my house. Texans 28-10. Cowboys have no offense. They can't maintain a drive. And I think pretty soon, if they lose this game, I think you might see Trey Lance for the rest of the year. They need to find out what they can get out of him. They
Right.
need to start looking at players who are going to be on the team next year if they fit into whoever the next head coach, who won't be Deion
look,
Sanders.
You got to show me your Dallas Cowboy bottle behind you.
The bottle? You can put
Yeah, I don't think you'd ever showed it to me.
No?
Oh yeah, that's sharp.
I
like
sent one of my co-hosts. If y'all ever need any one of these, let me know because I have to have him prep, and then I got to find a bottle too.
I got to get some of the little jewels.
Yeah.
You get on my Stiller bottle because my granddaughter got a hold of my Stiller bottle.
Ooh.
Yeah, and a couple of my jewels are missing.
Yeah,
my A for Die Hard on the side of it's missing.
Yeah.
She didn't mess with the alphabet side.
Yeah, he did a hell of a job.
Oh, he did. And some of my little beads around where the bottle's at.
Yeah.
Are missing.
Yeah, he did the damn thing. But that's all we got. Mona, last words.
I just want to tell everybody thanks for showing up. Dwayne, Bo, Dalton. Thank you guys. Y'all are always here. Love seeing you guys here. I know this is college football day. So I think a lot of people are probably watching the college games.
And you got UFC tonight. John Jones fights tonight too. So my neighbors are barbecuing and stuff.
My Bama team won their game today, 52-7. So we played Mercer. So
okay, yeah. Take a little frustration out.
But Mercer's 9-2.
Yeah.
They're 9-2, and we beat them. So we're 8-2 now.
Yeah, beat them down a little bit. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Thank you for everybody. Mona, y'all saw the graphic. All the people who showed love. Mona made me a little thing for Coffee Talk. Dwayne, you're the man. That was really kind of his thing. He was like, Marcus, you need to start doing some more content. Guys, it's just really hard with the things that we have going on in our life. Mona, she has a lot of stuff going on. I have a lot of stuff. Just doing this show takes a lot, to try to prep and research. Some people just do shows and they talk without much.
Gerbil, look, my gerbil who runs my tower for my computer.
Yeah.
He's on his last leg. He's missing 3. He's on his last leg. I have a computer coming.
Yeah.
That won't take me as long to do stuff now.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So maybe I can do a little more stuff coming up. But
yeah.
Look. Chasing a 4-year-old at my age is not easy.
Yeah.
If she goes to bed at 9 o'clock, I go to bed at 9:15, 9:30 usually.
Yeah. It's tough. I would love to do, Coffee Talk takes it takes a lot. I usually do like a monologue for about 30 to 40 minutes, and it's a little bit different with, I tag team with Mona on this show, but Coffee Talk is just me talking,
Yep.
So it's tough, and I got other stuff that I have to do too, but everybody who does, I want to try to see if I can't start getting those on YouTube. We'll figure it out. But get your Alphabets Football Show merch, 27 for short sleeve t-shirts. I'm gonna probably start kind of winding that down a little bit because it's getting colder out. Get your long sleeve t-shirts, 37, and hoodies for 52. And if you want a bottle like this, let me know. I can make that happen for you too. But give me a heads up because he does a lot of stuff for me and he gets busy because other people want him doing stuff. He that's what he does. So thanks for tuning in. Alphabet's Football Show Coffee Talk. We appreciate y'all. Enjoy the games. Like I said, last night we just rescheduled it because we figured everybody would be doing this. But if you missed the show, go back and give us the views on there and get a like or get somebody, hey, go watch this show and watch the intro. I think if you watch the first like 3 minutes, and I think the intro's like damn near 3 minutes, then we get a view for that. So we're trying to get our viewership up and trying to transition a little bit over to YouTube. So support us on that. If y'all like what we do, shoot the stars and all of that good stuff like that. It helps. Okay. We will see y'all. Make sure y'all are making y'all's picks. It's getting close to the end here, and Leroy Smith
he's running away with it right now.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna get me a new
I think
Steelers shirt.
over me now too. I think there's like maybe a 6 or 7 way tie right now for like 3rd or 4th place.
I'm like in 6th place. Everybody who's up there has got over 100 wins. I mean, we're doing really good as a league overall. You got people 95. I think I'm at like 92%. But we're at the top people. They're picking at like 95% on their picks. That's awesome.
I've got it right.
It's easy to.
I got it right here. Smitty is at 99%. Mike's F24, whoever that is at 96.9%, along with
That's Tito. Beto Slim. That's Tito.
Okay. He's at 96.9. And me and Gary are in 4th place by ourselves, 95.6%. And then you're right behind me at 92.2. I'm 2 games up on you. That's it.
Yeah, it's good. And look, one bad week. Don't get comfortable. Don't miss your picks.
I was in 1st place in Sports Cruise.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, man, I had a bad week, and I'm like, I think 3rd place now.
Yeah, one bad week can mess up the whole thing. So stay on your picks. Make sure you're and look at those injury reports. Who's playing, who's not playing, because a lot of time that dictates, the outcome of the game.
Especially with the key players.
Yeah, definitely. So y'all have a good one. We'll be back next week. Make sure y'all tune in. I'm going to try to do Coffee Talk Mondays through Thursdays. I'm not going to do it on Fridays because Mona and me, we do the show on Friday night. So I'm not going to do it on Fridays. I'll do it Monday.
We will be back next Friday.
We'll be right back here. Y'all have a good one. See ya.
Low sundown, the sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash. Put the ones in the bag, now count up. Count up. Count up. Count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy.